Alright, hello and welcome back to another event top list thing, deck that won an event by a person I know. These happen occasionally. This one is another one of Sciulli's, and this was the ARG Pennsylvania Winter State Championship, which ended up being 5 rounds, and he actually went undefeated and didn't even drop a single game, let alone a round. So, obviously he knows what he's doing. He knew how to make a list, and it worked out very well for him. So congratulations once again on topping yet another event there. And I know that this channel usually ends up being more casual content, but this is helpful to anyone who's just looking to see what the meta is, or looking to try something different, or enter the meta. Obviously, magicians are still, a force to be reckoned with. It still will be seen more than just here and there. It's still probably going to be, one of the top decks, and from what we've been seeing, it's still represented pretty highly as well, and can still do some things here and there. Obviously, it could top this event. It still has the things that it can do. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the list here. Now, 3 Wisdom Eye obviously essentially act as any other scale in your deck and just gives you free monsters to summon for, whatever you need. Purple Poison and Black Fang. I don't know what the ratios were in original Magicians, but these have actually seemed to have backed down a little bit. And seem less crucial to the actual strategy of the deck and more like little bonus effects that you can actually get off there. But obviously it's still something to be reckoned with, just like Harmonizing Magician, which is still the absolute powerhouse, especially in one from deck. Gets you a free Electromite if you don't already have one, or a level 8 Synchro, or a rank 4. Just, absolute powerhouse of a card right there. From there, something that's, again, I'm not sure if this was originally in kind of new Pendulum Magicians, but has been seeing a lot more use, is Oath Dragon Magician. Obviously, the add back is very strong, and a scale 2 is pretty strong as well. And 1 copy of Dragon Pit Magician clears back row and is also a scale 8, which is still something pretty damn good. And then obviously we have Astrograph Sorcerer and Chronograph Sorcerer, which are some of the new, more important cards with the introduction of Electromite. Obviously, Astrograph and Electromite is insane. You can send to the extract, add it back, it triggers its effect, you special it, you search another one. If you can make Electromite before you actually go ahead and Pendulum Summon, just the amount of advantage that you get off of it is absolutely insane. And it combos obviously very well with this card. Now, an easy way that you can make it is with Chronograph Sorcerer, because he'll special himself, and another one when a card's destroyed. So if you open Chronograph and Wisdom Eye and something else, you basically have your Electromite right there and can proceed to go off. But just in case, we have 1 Time Gazer Magician, which you can special off of the Chronograph Sorcerer in scale for just a free monster on board there. And then Dark Worm and Supreme King Gate 0, which Dark Worm through the Foolishes and the Dragon Shrines act as another body to turn into Electromite, and can get you a complete set of scales through the Supreme King Gate 0 as well, letting you go from 0 to 5. So essentially, your level 4s, which is, generally the most important part of the deck, although that is changing a little bit. Obviously, the Absolute plays, where you go ahead and, send Absolute to the grave by linking with it, and then summon out the Vortex Dragon, which is one of the new strong plays of the deck. And for 1 more card for free Electromite fuel, we have Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser, which just specials himself from the Pendulum Zone if you have no monsters. Then we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, which is interesting to see because it is definitely a pullback from the hand trap format. Instead of Magicians were never a hand trap heavy deck, overloaded like some decks were with, 12 to 15 hand traps, but it is still a pullback, and just running 3 of essentially the strongest hand trap in the game with just how much utility it has. The 1 Foolish and the Dragon Shrines, obviously to get Dark Worm into the grave. Duelist Alliance and Pendulum Call, which instead of the 3 to 1 is actually up to 2 to 2 now, which is interesting to see. Desires obviously for the free cards, and 2 copies of Time Pendulum Graph, which is still an important part of ending on a strong board, having that disruption on your opponent's turn. This and Vortex can be very strong indeed. From there, getting the extract, we obviously have the 2 Electromites, so you can go ahead and just make your crazy plays from there. Skull Dread, just dump monsters into it, fix your hand, go ahead and just go crazy from there. Zephyr Metaltron, obviously because you have your special monsters from the extracts, you can actually go ahead and make this fairly easily. Then just some power rank 4s, we have Tornado Dragon, Baguska, Trapeze Magician, which is just pure and insane damage output in this deck. For another rank 4, we have Evil Swarm Nightmare, which, because you have dark monsters, you can make this, and it is a very strong, not once per turn Book of Moon when things are specialed, so you can go ahead and shut your opponent down fairly easily there, especially if they go into the extra monster zone with a non-link monster. Naruto, which is obviously seeing more play because you can use Chronograph Sorcerer and level 6s to go ahead and make this for more spell and trap negation, and Absolute, which you just link with to go ahead and bring out your Vortex Dragon for even more negation and disruption on board. Then obviously Ignister Omega and the Raigeki, which a Synchro Summon Raigeki, of course. All level 8s there to make a Harmonizing Magician, obviously your level 4 tuner there. And Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom, which is the copy, that's the copy of monsters effect thing and does piercing and all that stuff there. They are apparently all southern now. Sorry about that. Then obviously Chaos Hunter for Trickstars, Lava Golem, which is interesting. A lot of people are playing this more now. It obviously has its applications in basically like a double kaiju kind of thing. Apex Avion, just something you can go ahead and get even more negations on the field with. Wavering Eyes, obviously, one of the most insane cards in any Pendulum Mirror match. D-Barrier, which is essentially anti-spell but doesn't, have the repercussions on your turn as well. Evenly Matched, just insane card there. And the One Judgment, which obviously hits anything in the game. So let's go ahead and go over some of the matchups here. So in round 1, he 2-0'd Spiral. In round 2, he 2-0'd True Draco, which Spiral is obviously very neutered, but True Draco is coming back. Actually, Spiral isn't super neutered, but they're obviously hurt more than... They're hurt to a lower level, obviously. True Draco, which is actually coming back and seeing a lot of representation because Masterpiece is still at 3, and obviously it wasn't touched on the last list. And now that things have been brought down a little bit, it's kind of coming back into the meta. Then his next matchups were all Supreme King Magicians, so something along this line as well, and he 2-0'd all of those as well. Also shoutouts to another friend at our locals, Kramer, who actually took 2nd place, and his only loss was to Ant here in round 4. At our locals, everyone who plays meta usually works pretty closely together, comes up with lists and shares ideas, so it's a very good place, and we most of them have some very good success there. And I say most of them because I'm the one who doesn't have success because I don't play meta. But very strong locals, some very good players, and as you can see, this is why I'm always able to bring you guys top lists, because they just all do so well. And it's just a great environment to learn in and get better at overall. So definitely a big thanks to my locals for being the guys who kicked my ass enough that I learned how to play this game and what to do, and really taught me what I know. And obviously big shoutouts to Ant for topping another event and going undefeated here. Anyway, usual plugs at the end of the episode. A link to my Discord down in the description, where we just kind of chill, hang out, talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And anime and other things. A link to my Twitter as well, where there's automatic tweets when videos come out, and also I'm going to be trying to put some random thoughts about the game on there as well. From time to time, just put some tweets out, and to my Patreon as well, where I know we didn't have a worst deck of all time this week, but I've just been super busy and some personal things have come up. But if you want to support me for this, especially the editing and recording intensive series, I do like that. I'll have a link to my Patreon as well. Now, no pressure to support, no content or anything will ever be gated off. It's just, if you have a little extra to give, it would be very greatly appreciated. But anyway, thank you just for watching, and I'll see you later.